Hello, everybody. My name is Philippa Fabry, and I am going to be just talking to you a little bit this evening about, I suppose, what Education Services has been up to this year. Already we are in May, and it's been a busy year. And I just wanted to really touch base with the teachers and the parents who follow Education Services to just firstly thank you for being part of our community. I think the whole thing with Education Services is that we want to serve you. We really want to be able to be your go-to person, your go-to place, your first port of call if you have any education-related concerns about your child or about a child in your class if you're a teacher. And so I thought it was about time that we just sort of summarized a little bit or put it into perspective what a day in the life of someone at Education Services comprises, what it entails. So we started Education Services in 2022. That was our first year. We're now 2024, so we've been going 2 years. And I met with Leandri Becker, my colleague, today, and we were just talking about how far we've come and what we've been able to achieve in only 2 years, two short years. And we want to continue growing and being a place where a frazzled parent can WhatsApp or phone or email, and at least you'll have somebody on the other end of your message to reply and to give you some, I suppose, peace of mind, especially if it has to do with your child who is struggling in the classroom. And for whatever reason, there are many reasons why children struggle at school. I mean, our job at Education Services is to find the solution, find out why and provide a way forward, a plan of action, which is one of the most exciting things to be able to do, is to give parents, a glimmer of hope and a solution for their worries and their concerns. So I think we've had a lot that we've done behind the scenes, and maybe we post on Facebook, we Instagram, we put things out there, but it doesn't always translate into what exactly does Education Services do. What exactly is our mission? What are the services that we provide? So yeah, I think if you had to ask me what is it that Education Services does, or what is Education Services, it's a one-stop shop. It is a first port of call. It is a friendly voice at the end of the line. It is somewhere where you can go to find, an answer. And so what we spend a lot of our time doing, or especially me, is responding to emails that come through or a Facebook message that comes through. And it's often a parent asking a question. Sometimes we're on a forum, we're on Facebook, and a parent will say, I think my child has ADHD. What do I do? Where do I go? And it's nice to be able to just say to that parent, here is Education Services. This is where we are. This is what we can do. Pop us an email, give us a question, and we can reply. And we can certainly give you either a checklist that you could do at home to, if there is an ADHD query, there are checklists that parents can do. If there are dyslexia queries and you think your child has a severe reading problem and you think it might be dyslexia, we have an online form that you can complete. We have questionnaires, we have checklists, we have lots of resources that we can share, and they don't cost anything. They are available for you to use. So at this time of the year, we are sitting in May, and I know that a lot of my colleagues are busy with tests and exams at school. So we are preparing for reports. Parents are helping children study, drawing up study schedules, getting those scopes, studying and getting ready for the end of term 2. And so, yes, the term 2 is always a very, very busy term because it is an exam term or a test term, and a lot of work has been covered and so needs to be assessed. And so that is where we're sitting now, with reports being written, tests and exams being marked. And when you go back next term, I'm sure you can request a conference with your child's teacher if it is something that you'd like to just chat to the teacher about and see, where can your child improve, or what is going on in the classroom, how are they doing. You take the report along with you and you have a discussion about your child's progress. And again, if you want to get hold of Education Services because you want to know how to prepare for that report consultation or that conference, that is also something that we can do. We can look at the report and we can certainly give you our own sort of objective opinion on what we think needs to happen going forward so that your child gets the best intervention and support going into term 3. So if you are watching and there is anything if there's something that you want to ask us, I mean, go ahead. That's what this is for. We're going to spend about 15, 20 minutes just chatting about school in general and what's happening in the schools. If you're a teacher, hello, we are wanting to know whether there's something that we can assist you with. If you're teachers, if you're looking for a position, we are looking for teachers that we can add your details to our database. Because again, obviously, with Education Services, if a school has got a position vacant, they often come to us and they say, do you know of a teacher who might want to apply for this position? So again, important that we have your details, and we want to know about you. We want to know if you're looking for a position or if you're looking to change schools. We also want to hear from you. So we would just encourage teachers to reach out to us and send us a WhatsApp. Make sure that you are part of our community. That is our little WhatsApp helpline running along there at the bottom of the screen. So if you have our number saved, and if ever you want to send a question or a query, or you're worried about something, or you're looking for a position, or you want to know how to deal with a parent in a certain way, then you can WhatsApp us and we will do our best to help you. This is what we really want to do. And then also we have a Facebook group as well. The Education Services Facebook group is really a very active, engaging place for parents and teachers to come along and be part of a community where we want to help and support one another. Education doesn't happen in isolation. We know this. We know that teachers and parents work together. You want to be on the same page in terms of, giving your child the best support. And it's often two players that come together. The teachers, the parents come together and work as a team to help the child. So Education Services is where we want to meet you halfway. And I also want to say that at the starting on the 22nd of May, we are going to be doing a meetup for teachers, lecturers, tutors, anyone that is involved in education. We want to encourage you to come along and join our meetup. It's going to be just a virtual meetup at 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. Literally just 15, 20 minutes. We'll talk about different education positions. Not everybody is in the classroom. Some of us tutor, some of us do remedial therapy, some of us lecture. And we want to be able to be there for one another in a supportive way. We want to hear about positions that are available. And so we're saying to teachers, diarize every last Wednesday of the month. 6 o'clock, we'll be going live like this on our Education Services group, and we will have a guest. We will talk about things happening in the classroom, what's relevant in education, what isn't working, what can we do, how do we support one another, and it'll be a Q&A, but really just a nice discussion group where we can come together and just meet. Some of you, the teachers, are asking for ways that they can connect with other teachers, and not necessarily the same teachers that they teach with at school, but just to meet teachers from other schools in other parts of South Africa, and really just to have a Q&A, a discussion about the different positions in education that are available, because teaching is not for everybody. So we will talk about how we got into the different educational kind of situations. Some of us do teach, some of us tutor, some of us lecture, and it's always nice to just meet one another and see, what we all do. So that is happening. The first one is happening on the 22nd of May, but it will be at the end of every month on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So we are encouraging everybody to join in with that. But if you do have a question, a particular question, please pop it in the comments and we can talk about that as well. But just to go into what Education Services has been doing over the past few months. So in February, we spoke a lot about homework and how you can help your child if they're struggling with homework, if they are not motivated to do homework, or you're struggling to get them to do homework, or it's taking too long and you don't know what is the appropriate time that you should be spending on homework. These are all things that we addressed in our Healthy Homework Habits workshop. And we spoke at length about these habits that are setting your child up for future. We spoke about Stephen Covey's effective strategies. There are 7 effective habits that children should be developing. And if you can start developing these at home during homework time, this will be so important for your child as they get older and move into adulthood. So February was all about homework and healthy homework habits. And then in March, we spoke about doing school readiness screening. So what we do with Education Services is we go into schools and we screen children for we red flag children who are possibly sitting in grade R, getting ready for grade 1, who aren't necessarily going to be ready for grade 1. And so rather than leave it and not do anything about it, we want to screen them early on in the year and then provide parents with support and interventions that the children can start now already, so that they are becoming school ready, so that they, by the end of the grade R year, they are more ready to start school. And so those school readiness screenings have been fantastic because it allows us to go into schools, it allows us to connect with teachers, see the children in their, in their own environments. And those screenings have been so important that we've been doing. The schools call us, they say, we've got 12 children who we're worried about, can you come in and screen them? We send the letter to the school, the parents give us permission, and we go in and we do that. And it's really been lovely to be able to offer that service. So if you are wanting us to come in and do school readiness screenings, now would be a good time to call us. If you're a pre-primary or an early childhood development center and you're wanting to just make sure that the children are developing, on track, you can call us and we will come in and do the screenings at your school for the parents, and it's a great service that we can do. And then in April, we spoke at length about autism. Obviously, Autism Awareness Month is April, and so many children are being recognized, and we are being more aware. We certainly have a lot more awareness for children who are on the autism spectrum. And so it's all about education and creating awareness. And so we've been speaking about, what to look out for, what can we do if a child's language, for example, isn't developing appropriately, where can we send the child for speech and language therapy, what interventions are available if you suspect that your child might have autism, or who do you take your child to for a correct diagnosis. And then May has been the month to speak about auditory processing. And we've been really, really focusing on reading and the link between auditory processing and how a child learns to read. And I know a lot of parents are struggling to encourage their children to read. Not everybody enjoys reading. Some children really struggle with reading, and so they're not going to just pick up a book and read for fun. But we often say to parents, just model good reading hygiene. Take a book, move away from the screen, take a book, read a bedtime story. Let your children see you reading the newspaper. Let them see you picking up a book. Take your children to the library. Encourage book habits. I think that's all you can do, is just to model the behavior and encourage your children to read. And if they are struggling to read, give them an easier book, or encourage them to read other things, not necessarily books, but also comics or adverts or signs. As you're driving around Port Elizabeth and you're looking up and you're seeing signs, encourage them to read what they see. And you'll be amazed at how quickly they automatically pick up the reading skills. So that's been the theme for May on auditory processing. And then, yes, I think also, some of the consultations that we've had so far have really been, parents have been contacting us because they feel that they see that the child is struggling, so they're picking up that things are not quite going according to plan. And the teacher may have also voiced a concern, but then what happens now? What is the next step? So the report might say that the child isn't coping, or the behavior in class might not be appropriate. The teacher is seeing certain things that are red flags, and she wants to be proactive. And we love getting information. We love getting emails or messages from the teacher saying, what do I do with this? How do I deal with this child who is doing this? What do I do? What do I say to the parent? How do I address this issue? And then, it's often, it plays out in, well, we send you a questionnaire. We send the teacher a questionnaire that they fill in. And then that questionnaire gives us so much more information that we can then, if the parent comes to see us, we can start looking at what could be the problem. Is it a reading issue? Is it a phonics issue? Is it a maths issue? Is it something that can be rectified quickly? Or is it something that's going to require more intensive ongoing therapy? And one of those interventions that I really have been so impressed with is a program called Learn Reading. And this program I've been using with some of my junior school, my primary school students who have been struggling to identify the longer words that are difficult to pronounce. And this program, Learn Reading, is such an amazing structured program, because it takes them right back to the basic consonants that you would have to know when you start reading, and the consonants that appear the most frequently in words. So once they've identified those consonants, we then look at putting the consonants together with vowels and blends and longer words and sentences and stories, and so it builds on and on. And this program, what I love is that it can be done in my office with the child sitting next to me, but it can also be done online. So I have a student who isn't in Port Elizabeth, but we connect twice a week online, and we do the Learn Reading program together. And we play games, and we are doing comprehension, and we are doing animation, because we can adjust our screens, we can bring in filters, and we can bring in backgrounds, and we are creating this sort of connection over a screen, but using the Learn Reading program as our tool. And I've really been so impressed with seeing how these children, their confidence has improved, their reading, their word recognition is so much better, and they just seem to grasp the strategies that are in this program. If the children just could be taught these basic strategies in schools, I don't think we'd have the reading problems that we are seeing now, because once they've got the strategy down pat, they just keep using that strategy over and over again. So that is something that I really, really have been enjoying doing so much, is connecting with students using the Learn Reading program. And again, it can be an online program. So we set up a virtual consultation, and the Learn Reading program is what we use. But they also come to my office and sit in my office, and we do it together. And what's also really, really nice is that we can incorporate what they are doing at school in English as well. So if they're having to do parts of speech or figures of speech or antonyms or synonyms or adjectives or whatever it is, we bring those concepts in as well, and we use them with the work that we're doing together. And that has been really, really interesting to see. So I've really, really enjoyed that. And then I also just want to talk about the Reading with Horses program. A lot of you have been saying to me, when are you going to do another Reading with Horses program? And so I've decided I'm going to try and make it a regular thing. And I have connected with two organizations that I'm going to be partnering with, so that we can do the Reading with Horses program more regularly. And it will be the first Friday of every month by appointment. In other words, you have to book ahead of time. And then we schedule that appointment at one of those two places. They are in Port Elizabeth. They are not far. The first one, both of those programs are non-profit organizations. So where the horses are being looked after, they have often been rehomed, or they've been taken from their owners where they haven't been looked after, and they are being rehabilitated. And while they are being rehabilitated and waiting to be rehomed, we are going to go and read with them. It's one of the equine assisted learning programs that I've fallen in love with. I absolutely love doing it. And so if your child is wanting to come along with me and read with horses, then you need to just get hold of me and make an appointment, and we can go and do that. So that is that. And then I spoke about the teachers meetup on the last Wednesday of every month. We spoke about the Reading with Horses program, which is going to be on the first Friday of every month by appointment only. And then, yes, I think the last thing I just want to mention about is for the teachers. If you are wanting to screen yourself, students in your class that you possibly want to use assessments for, the teacher assessment file is a resource that, let me just get rid of that. The assessment file is a resource that I have put together. It's 126 pages of tests and assessments that you can use to screen children for language, maths, and perceptual skills. The assessment file is available from me. Again, you can pop me an email or send me a WhatsApp, and you can say, please tell me more about the assessment file. And these can be available to you. You can download it, use it in your classroom. You can order a printed copy from me, and you are then able to use the file in your classroom. Of course, you can also arrange to have some training with me, if you like, on how to use those assessments. But that is also something so valuable, because as teachers, we often see children struggling. We want to have some evidence before we go and speak to the teacher. Before we want to speak to the parent, we want to have some evidence. And so it's good to be able to screen and do some reading tests or some comprehension tests or spelling tests, so that we have some evidence before we call the parents in, or before we send them off to have further assessments done. So I think that's it. If you are wanting to, I'm just going to put that up again. make sure that you are part of the Education Services group on Facebook. Please come and join our community because, like I said, we want to be there for one another. We want to support one another. We want to encourage you if you are in a position and you're unhappy. We want to encourage you to find other ones. We want to let you know what positions are available. Schools are messaging me all the time with posts and vacancies, and I can only do so much. So if I have your database, if I have your information on my database, and if it's a foundation phase position, and I know that you're a foundation phase teacher and you're looking for a position, I can certainly put you in touch with that school. So that is the one thing that we want to be able to serve. Education services is all about serving. So we can help parents, we can help teachers, and we can certainly be your first port of call if you have any specific concerns or worries about your child or about a child in your class if you're a teacher. So thank you for watching. We're going to try and do these more regularly. Like I said, the teacher meetup will be on the last Wednesday of every month. So you can keep up with what's happening with education services. We'll be having these virtual meetups every month. And the Reading with Horses program, you need to book a book, and those will be the first Friday of every month by appointment only. All right, but thank you so much for watching. I'm going to say good night, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Please remember our WhatsApp number. It doesn't cost you a cent to send us a WhatsApp, and we will do our best to reply within 24 hours and hopefully have some solutions for you, because that's what we want to do with education services. It's all about finding solutions. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Bye now.